I've been kind of lazy, dodging my duties worse than World War III whenever that gets announced. So here's day 6, 7, 8, and 9 of drawing every Pokemon from memory. Now this is going to be interesting. We can actually generate 4 ones. Let's just do that. Babam, Mime Jr., Passimian, Chien, and Fletchling. This is actually a goated lineup. OMG. Normally, I would show you guys the whole process of me drawing them, but since I'm catching up on 4, I'm just going to transport you to whenever I draw them. All right, first for Passimian, I knew he had something on his head, just wasn't sure what, so I tried to go with like a leaf. And then I remember carrying the coconut or the fruit or whatever it was. And that's basically the central goal for this one. And I went with like a monkey-ish stand or pose because I knew the ape feature was there, or the gorilla or whatever, orangutan, I don't know, some sort of primate creature. I also went for a tail and with the monkey thing, like I was saying, scratching his ass. I wasn't very confident with this one because it's another newer Pokemon. The details aren't imprinted in my mind. However, I say that and then we move on to Chien, who is a newer one. And look, I actually don't think I did a terrible job with this one. I got the long icicle teeth. I got some claws on the feetsies. It's clearly a feline. Some eyes. I don't know what I was going with the eye under the eyes there, but dots across here because I remember there being something on it. Next we got Fletchling. Fletchling I imagined so well in my brain. It did not translate to paper at all. I knew there was some coloring in the back of the head, kind of, where I got wrong. And I went with a softer eye, not a sharp triangle, but it still didn't come out as well as I wanted. My goal was to make it a cuter one because Fletchling's very round, or at least I remembered it. What kind of screwed me is the connection between the head and the neck. I made it very like old school duck drawing as opposed to like modern bird. I don't even know how to explain this. I remember there being a feather tail thingy, some feetsies, and some wings. Not a bad attempt. No one would know this is Fletchling though. Next we got Mime Jr. I actually think this is one of my better attempts. It was just kind of body shape that wasn't coming across well. So yeah, I didn't realize the thing on his head was like the same as the fruit. I missed a bunch of the like fur patterns and stuff. The tail was way off. Just an overall fail. Next we've got Chien. I actually think not too shabby. As I mentioned, I got some things right. It was just the execution that was very off. Like there's a lot more icicles on it. I didn't even draw them as icicles. I drew them as dots. The teeth icicles were good, but there's no face under that really. Like what I did here, it just kind of morphs into that, you know? But overall, not too bad at this attempt. Next we've got Fletchling, which yeah, it was really shaped because they had morphs into the body, into the tail of Fletchling, as opposed to what I did here and made them very separate. Eye-wise, I don't think I did terrible. It wasn't nearly round enough, even though I thought I was going pretty round with it. And the beak is colored black. I think the tail I actually cooked on, and the feet, as opposed to being stick figure feet, are actually more defined. And then there's a pattern on the belly, so yeah, we'll take it. Last but not least, Mime Jr. I mixed up the coloring of the ball on top of the hat and the hat. I mixed those up. That should have been reversed. The face, I just did an uncanny version of the same face, I think, so that's good. And instead of 1 dot, I did 3 dots, kind of like Frosty the Snowman, and I didn't have that dividing piece between the body and the feet. But this is one where I actually had like a proper pose in mind that I remember from like cards and anime and stuff, where he's doing that kind of like 1 foot stance. I don't know what to call it, same with the hands being outstretched. So when you see my revised version in a second, don't be surprised if it's gonna look like official media Mime Jr. because that's just really what I had in mind with this one. Sometimes I have no clue what to go for. Sometimes there's media renditions of them that are so imprinted in my mind from years and years that that's kind of what I default to. And this was one of them. But I don't think this is too bad. This just looks like you told someone what Mime Jr. is and they never heard of it and they drew it. Now you're gonna see the revised versions. So first off, we got my dog Passimian. I tried to do the same stance, still scratching the ass, still got the ball, still got the feet against each other and all that, but I think it came out a lot better actually following its lore, design, and appearance. Next we've got Chien. I fixed up a lot of this stuff. I actually probably should have added more icicles in this like kind of section right there. You can see my heart was in the right place. I'm actually really proud of how my Fletchling revision came out. Like that's really cute. I kind of tried to make it lean a little bit. I guess I could have made the foot a little less twiggish, but the game's the game. Last but not least, Mime Jr. Like I said, this just looks like a very official media Mime Jr. pose and stance, but that's kind of what I went for. So even when I was looking at the reference, I was like, damn, this just looks like I'm almost copying the reference. But that's what I have in mind, man. The game's the game. And yes, that is it for day, 6, 7, 8, 9.